it's Vanessa here from Love Riley. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be making the Fibi Fold-Over Crossbody Bag by Ora Rosa Patterns. It's a brand new pattern that is getting ready to be released, and I was lucky enough to be one of the testers. And this is so unique. I've never ever made a bag like this before, and I'm absolutely in awe of the details that are thought out to go into a pattern to be able to create a bag like this. It's amazing. So hats off to Alexis because she's done it again. First of all, I'd never ever made a fold over bag before, so this obviously was a first for me. There were lots of firsts. As I said, I'm just amazed by how it came together. There were the detailed steps in the pattern are phenomenal, and I don't think you can go wrong at all. So let's go over the bag. So I've used a faux suede here as my blush pink. This is a vinyl that I had custom printed. I'll leave all the links below. And then the top has magnetic closures. Now, what's unique about this bag is that these are not just pleats in the bag. They are actually zipper pockets. This bag has pockets galore. So you have a little pocket down here, which is perfect for your lipstick or lip gloss or any little bits and pieces. So that's your bottom zipper pocket. Then you have a middle zipper pocket. I mean, look at that. And then we have the top zipper pocket, and it has so much room. Oh, look at that. There is so much that you can fit in there. You could fit your purse, your phone, so much stuff in there. And when I first saw the pattern, I didn't even know that these were zipper pockets. So I guess that's the priority, is to have them hidden. And then our top is also closed with a magnet. And then we have an internal zipper pocket, an internal slip pocket, and there is still so much room in the inside of this bag. Then on the outside, on the back side, we have our connectors for our crossbody strap, and then again we have pockets, and that is again a huge pocket. So if your customers love pockets, they're going to love the Fibi crossbody bag. There were a lot of construction details that I'd never ever done before, but Alexis made them easy to follow with the pattern. It was really fun to sew and very quick. And obviously the more you make, the quicker they become. And I wouldn't change anything on this bag at all. I think it's perfect just the way that it is. And yeah, Alexis has done an amazing job. So please go and buy the pattern because I know how much hard work goes into them. And yeah, I hope that you make this bag and let me know if you do, how you went, what you think of it. But again, it is absolutely amazing. And as always, I'll include some photos at the end of how I photographed this from my website. So let's get on and sew this, and thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing day. Bye. So we'll go over the pattern pieces here. These are all the external pieces, and this is a faux suede that I got from Dreamy Bag Hardware. I've never sewn with this before, so we'll see how it goes. First of all, I've got two connector pieces. All of my pieces I've interfaced as per the pattern, and I've used exactly the same interfacing that was recommended. So this has got Decaville Light. Again, it'll tell you in the pattern where to place those. So two 2 connector pieces. I have 2 back zipper tabs. I've got 2 external and 2 lining. For all of my zipper tabs, because there are front ones as well, I've interfaced those with a lightweight interfacing. So 2 external, 2 lining. I've got an upper front pocket piece A, and I've already interfaced that and just done some markings as per the pattern. I've got my strap, and this has got no interfacing at all, and I've just marked my line down the center and added double-sided tape. One of those, obviously. Slip pocket trim pieces, and I've got 2 pieces of those. I've got a back zipper trim, again interfaced as per the pattern, one of those. I've got a middle front pocket C. This is a custom printed vinyl, and I'll leave the company that I got it through in the description below. So one of these, again interfaced as per the pattern. My back pocket pattern piece H, interfaced as per the pattern. One of those. I've got a lower front pocket pattern piece E, same as the others, interfaced as per the pattern. One of those. I've got my top trim pieces, and I've got 2 exterior. Now these are interfaced differently. So one is going to be your front, and it's got Decaville Heavy and Decaville Light on it, and I've just marked my magnet placing. And then we've got a back which has got the Decaville Heavy. So please make sure that you're interfacing it exactly as the pattern suggests. So they're all my external pieces, and now we'll move on to the lining. This is just a quilting cotton that I got from Spotlight quite a while ago. These are my front zipper tabs. There's 6 of these, and these have just been interfaced with a light woven. I've got a slip pocket, and I have made this one out of duck canvas that I also got from Spotlight. And this is interfaced with Decaville Light, and it'll tell you in the instructions where to place this piece. So one of those for your slip pocket. We've got a lower front pocket lining. Now we've got 2 of these, and these are mirrored. These I've interfaced with a medium woven, and I have kept it in my seam allowances because it'll be fine on my machine. So you've got 2 of those mirrored. I've got back pocket lining. I've got pattern piece I, and there's 2 of these, medium woven. Now make sure that when you're cutting your lining pieces, all of your pattern pieces, you keep an eye on the pattern piece instructions, because some of these are cut shorter than the other. So keep an eye on that. 2 of those. Upper front pocket lining pattern piece B. These are cut mirrored, and there's 2 of these. And again, medium woven, 2 of those. We've got our middle front pocket lining, which is pattern piece D. The lining is mirrored, so make sure that you're paying attention. And again, medium woven, 2 of those. And then I've got my main lining, which is pattern piece K, and I've got 2 of those. They're the same size. These are the same size. They're not cut down at all. So 2 of those, and they don't need to be mirrored. So we've got those. Then we'll move on to the hardware. So, okay, so I've got 4 zipper pulls, because all the front pockets on these are actually a zipper pocket. I have 1 slide adjuster. I've got 2 snap hooks for our crossbody, 2 D-rings. I've got 2 strap connectors. I've got my handmade tag. And then you're going to need 3 complete sets of magnets. I've got 8 Chicago screws. You can use rivets and zipper tape. And I believe that's it. So I'm going to start with my crossbody strap and get that done and out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to start with my crossbody strap. I've just marked a line down the center and added some double-sided tape. I'm just going to fold one side into the middle, but I don't want to go all the way up to the line. I want to leave a gap because I will need to fold this over again. So you just want to leave a little gap just here so that it can be folded over again. It doesn't have to be a huge gap, just a little one. Just like that. So then we can fold it over on itself again and sew it down. And I'm just going to clip this as I go, which will make it easier when I come to sew it. I've not interfaced this strap with anything at all. This is a faux suede that I got from Dreamy Bag Hardware. I've never sewn with it before. So hopefully it'll play nice and not give me any issues. Fingers crossed. It's easier for me just to remove a little bit of the double-sided tape at once rather than all at once, because otherwise it just sticks to the table and sticks to itself. So I just remove it as I go. I've never made this bag before, so this will be the first time that I'm testing the pattern. Instead of using clips, you could also add a second piece of double-sided tape on one side and use that to stick it together while you wait to sew it. Or you can just hold it instead of clipping it. Totally up to you. Okay, so that's all clipped, so now I'm just going to go and top stitch. And I'm on a 4.5 stitch length. So you want to sew down the open edge first. And I'm just doing it 1/8 of an inch from that open edge. And we're going to go up the other end. Okay. That looks really good. I just got this new pink thread in, so it matches perfectly. So we're going to need our slide adjuster, our zipper ends, if I can find all the screws, our swivel hooks, okay. So you want to get one end of your strap and you want to feed it up through the top of your slide adjuster and then back down the other end. And you can go ahead and you can either put rivets, Chicago screws, or you can do a box stitch or just 2 parallel rows of stitching. Just make sure that your end is all even if you are going to use strap ends, because you want that to go on flush. So I'm just going to put this strap end on so I can see where it ends if I want to do a box stitch. So I think I will just go ahead and put a Chicago screw in there. That's what I'll do. I might go ahead first and put my strap end on completely so that won't move. So normally what I do is I use my stiletto or sewing awl, whatever you call it, and I pre-punch the holes, and I'm just going to put these into place, screw these in. Now what you want to do is put in your Chicago screw or your rivet, whatever ones you're using. I just want to punch it from this end, because this is going to be the side that we see. Oh my goodness. These are medium-sized Chicago screws that I'm using. So I'm just going to go through the top, through the back, and get the screw for this end. And I'll get my non-slip mat to hold against that side while I screw this, tighten this. Perfect. Now what we want to do is make sure that your strap is not twisted. So this is the top side, this is the underside. You're going to come to the underside and you want to bring your strap all the way up to the end, the raw edge. We're going to feed on our swivel clasp and take it all the way down. Again, make sure that your strap is not twisted. And then we're going to get the raw edge and we're going to feed it up through the top of our slider and then back down through this side. So now this is what we have. We have our slider there at the top, just there, and then we come all the way down, it's not twisted. And at the bottom, we've got the swivel hook that we put on just before. And then turn it over. So this is the underside. Just like this. We're going to get our second swivel hook. And we're going to feed that on, fold the top over, then we're going to put on our second strap end and another Chicago screw. Again, make sure that this end is completely flush, because it will help your strap end going on nicely. And you want your strap end facing up. So just slide that on. Just like so. And then I'm going to fold it over and put a Chicago screw here on this side. So I'm just going to go ahead and install this strap end. And I do like to do this at the beginning because you don't really want to do this when you've finished your bag. And you've got a full bobbin, hopefully. These strap ends I got from, all of this hardware I got from A Passion for Vinyl. And I'll leave all the links below to their website. And you want to make sure that the screws are flush or just beneath this part of your strap end, otherwise they're going to get caught on things and could possibly come out. So make sure they're flush or just sitting below. So that's that. Fold it over, and then I'm going to put another Chicago screw through here. You could use two if you wanted to, or you can use rivets if you and rivets get along. We know rivets and I do not. I'm having to use all my strength today for this. And again, you could just sew this. You don't have to add rivets or Chicago screws. It's completely up to you. Just pushing that through so I can see the post on this side. It just helps when I put the screw in to make sure that it's all lined up. The good thing about Chicago screws is you can feel when you've got them lined up. Tighten that as much as you can, and you can use Loctite on the ends of these or super glue. Either way, that's all secure. And so now we have a completed crossbody strap. We're going to start with the back top trim, and you want one of your magnets. And we want the male side of the snap, which is the outy part. Mine both, for some reason, have inny parts, but they're still sticking together, so that's good for me. Now, on the back side of your trim, it gives you the placements for your magnetic snap. So you want to go ahead and you want to mark that. Then what you want to do is you just want to go ahead and you want to cut the slits for your magnet. I make sure that I use my knife with the blade pointing up because no doubt I will cut myself if I don't. So then you want to go ahead and you want to install that. just like so. And because this is Decaville heavy, I'm not going to put another piece of stabilizer on there because that's enough. And I'm just going to push my prongs outwards. As flat as possible, and then use a piece of double-sided tape over the back, and that stops these bits from rubbing through to your lining. So I'm just going to go ahead and cover that up, and I'll just use 2 layers. So this is what we have. So we can go ahead and we can put that aside. Then you want to get your front top trim, which is going to be the piece that has the Decaville heavy and the Decaville light. And we want to go ahead, again, measurements are in the pattern, but you want to go ahead and you want to do the same, but you want to install the female on this side. So that'll be the innie part of your magnetic snap. So we want to go ahead and install that half. So again, just push your prongs outwards and cover that up. On our front piece, what we want to do is, once we've installed the top, is we want to go ahead and we want to install both the male snaps, so that outie part, on these 2 bottom pieces. Okay, so that's all of our snaps. Then what you want to do is you want to get your upper front pocket, which is going to be the piece that looks like this. And this is the last piece that gets snaps installed. So as you can see, I've already gone ahead and marked where my snaps need to be placed. So I'm just going to, and again, all these measurements are given in the pattern and tell you exactly where they go and how to mark them out. So we put the female parts on these pieces, on this piece. So go ahead and install those. There's one. And you want to put the washers on. Don't forget your washers. So the first steps are just all prep, like most patterns. Okay. So then that's what that looks like. Next thing we want to do is we want to get our front zipper tabs. And these are out of our lining material. Now it does say in the pattern that these don't have to be interfaced, but I did interface mine. And then you want to fold these right sides together. Which will give you the center crease. So just go ahead and do that for all of these. And then you want to get your zipper tape. So you've got 2 zippers that are the same size, and then you've got a shorter one. All the measurements are given in the pattern. I'm actually just going to go ahead and quickly iron mine so that they're flat and straight, and then I'm going to install the zipper pulls and come back. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've installed my zipper pulls. So you're going to have two zippers that are the same length and then a smaller one. Then what we want to do is we want to take our zipper tabs and we're going to line up the zipper tape at the end and fold this over. And we're going to clip that. And we're going to do that for all of these so we can sew them all at once. So again, zipper tape right up towards the end and clip. So you should be seeing the wrong side of your zipper tabs. And if you haven't put your zipper pulls on, do it before you sew, otherwise you're going to be very upset. And then we're going to sew it at the seam allowance given in the pattern. And we're going to sew the folded edge. And then I can just bring this one around and continue to sew. And lucky last. And then just come in and trim all these off. So this is what we should have. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this back piece up and in, and then fold my front piece over in half, and then over again, and we're going to just top stitch here, and that'll give us no raw edges. And you want to do that on all pieces. So I'm going to fold my back piece up and over, my front piece in half, and then in half again. And top stitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in and I am going to just seal this end as well. Just in case it wants to try and pop out. You won't see these ends anyway, because they'll be sewn into the bag. Okay. That's the problem with cotton, even though it's interfaced, is you just have threads go everywhere. So now we're finished with our zipper tabs for now. Next we want to get our last zipper. Install your zipper pull. Next you want to get your back zipper tabs, and you're going to have 2 exteriors and 2 linings, and we're going to place them right sides together. And you want to place these right sides together, so your exterior piece is going to be on top with your zipper teeth facing up, zipper tab facing down, your back zipper tab together with the back of your zipper tape. And you're going to clip these into place. And you want to do that on both sides. Just like so. And then we're going to sew this at the seam allowance given in the pattern, and just sew that into place. The seam allowance is given in the pattern. Okay, and then I'm just going to next we can go ahead and top stitch. So you want to pull both of your layers back and top stitch. Both sides back. It does tell you in the pattern before you top stitch to come in and just trim away this exterior to reduce bulk. Okay, now we're going to get our connector pieces. What we want to do is, I've already marked my line down the center and added some double-sided tape. We're going to fold those into the center on that line, and we're going to top stitch. An 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Okay, they're both top stitched. Okay, so now we want to get everything that is in pack 2. So we want our lower front pocket, which is pattern piece E. We want our lower front pocket lining. We'll have 2 of those mirrored. Rivets, which I've got off to the side. Your lower front zipper, which is one of the longer ones that we sewed earlier. And you want your handmade logo. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to get your lining pieces, And you want the one that has the triangle at the bottom and the thinner end off to the left. So you've got your thick end on the right and your left is your thinner one. You want to get your zipper and you want to lay that right sides up, okay, and clip that into place. You can go ahead and mark your centers on your zipper and your lining piece just to ensure that everything is centered. And you just want to make sure that if you do a snip in your zipper tape, that you then come in with your lighter and singe that so that you have less chance of it fraying. Okay, so with your lower front pocket lining, you want to have your zipper tape right sides up, lining right sides up, but you want your zipper pull facing to the right. So it's on the right hand side, which is opposite to what I normally do. And we're going to clip that and then we're going to baste this on. So if you're like me and you normally have all your zippers closing to the left, just remember you need this to be on the right. Next, you want your lower front pocket and you want to put it right sides together. Remember, your zipper is still off to the right. So you've got your lining right sides up, zipper tape right sides up, and your lower front pocket right side down. We're going to clip that and we're going to sew it along the top here at the seam allowance given in the pattern. When you're getting close to your zipper pull, make sure that your needle's up, or your foot's up, and put your zipper pull out of the way. So what we want to do is we want to come through here. So this is exactly what we're looking at. So our main panel is face down, our zipper tape is face down, and our lining is face up. Then what we're going to do is we're going to top stitch through here, but you're not top stitching on this exterior part, you're only top stitching through your lining and this zipper tape here. So that's now what we have. So we've just top stitched the lining. As you can see, there's no top stitch on this part. Now we want the second lining piece of our lower front pocket. This time our thicker end's going to be on the left and our thinner end is going to be on the right. Find your centers. So this is what we have. And then what we're going to do is we're going to line up our pocket pieces together like this. So right sides together, matching up the centers. Just like so. Then what we're going to do is just baste this second back lining layer on at 1/8 of an inch. So now this is what we have. This is our external. Our zipper pull is now off to the left. Our linings are right sides together. Okay, now what we can do is we can lay it so that it's wrong sides up, and we can trim away this exterior layer to reduce bulk. So you want to trim this down to 1/8 of an inch. Do not trim your zipper tape. Oh, I almost got it then. Okay. So because we've trimmed away that symbol that we needed, what we're going to do is we're just going to put these back together, and we're going to mark that hash piece on the lining side. Then what we want to do is we want to clip these together. So line them up. Now you do want to pull them together, because if you have them laying flat, one will be a lot shorter than the other one. And we're going to sew these at the seam allowance, but you do not want to sew past our zipper stitches. You only want to sew these two pieces together. So you want to go up to, or as close to your zipper pieces as possible. But don't sew past them. I'm just going to start from the center and go up. So that's as far as I'm going to go, because otherwise I'm going to hit my zipper stitches. So as you can see, that's as far as I went up. You can try and go up further, but I'm happy just with that. If I need to go up further later, I can. And we can go ahead and we can trim these seam allowance down to 1/8 of an inch. And again, this is going to reduce the bulk. So then when we look in, we've got a front zipper pocket. So what we want to do is we want to get our exterior piece and we want to fold it down so that the top of our stabilizer becomes the fold. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. But whatever we do, do not top stitch this. but you can clip it in place. Because what's going to happen is this fold, this front fold, becomes a zipper pocket, but it's a hidden zipper pocket within the fold. So again, you can feel that top stabilizer piece, and you just want to clip it around that stabilizer, just like that. Then what we can do is we can go ahead and we can install our handmade tag or your custom logo, whatever one you've got. So it's up to you where you put it. So from the very bottom where the dart piece is, so right here, I'm going to go up 2 inches, and from the edge, so I'll go up 2 inches, and from the edge I'll come in 2 inches. So I might put it just there. I want to go that one and that one. And this is a heat erasing pen. So I just want to mark my prongs. So I can come in later and just get rid of that line. And I do want to use an offcut of Decaville Light that I have. And I just want to back that piece up. And then push the prongs out, and I'll cover that up with double-sided tape. And then that's installed. Next we want our middle front pocket lining pieces. Okay, so we've got our middle front pocket, our middle front pocket lining, 2 of those, and our zipper. So we're going to put our lining pieces to the side for the moment. Now we want to get our completed lower pocket pieces. So what we've got is wrong sides down. We've got our hash piece on our back zipper pocket, and then we've got the hash piece up here. Right sides together, and clip that into place. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to sew these at the seam allowance. So then this is what we should have when we fold it out. Just like so. Then what we can do is we can come in and we can trim away this excess seam here. Do not trim your zipper tape. Then what we can do is we can press this open and we can top stitch just along the lower front pocket, and you only want to top stitch from the zipper tab to the zipper tab, not beyond that. And this is just on the piece that we sewed just now. Make sure that your lining pieces are face down and you're not sewing through those. And stop when you get to the end of your zipper tab. Okay. So then, essentially, this gets folded up. And then this will drop down and you'll have your hidden pocket in there. Oh, gorgeous. Okay, next we want to get our lining pieces. So we've got our lining piece, same as we did on the previous step. We've got the wider edge on the right hand side, the smaller edge or the narrower edge on the left, and our angle piece at the bottom on the right. We're going to get our zipper, and you want the zipper pull closing to the right, and we're going to line that up as we did before. So I'm going to find my centers. Zipper closing to the right. And baste that on. And we want to bring our middle piece back, and we're going to place this right sides together and clip that. Okay, sew that in place. Needle down, foot up, and move your zipper pull. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to press the lining away from our zipper, and I'm just going to top stitch through the lining and the zipper. So then this is what we have. We want to get our second pocket piece. We want to line that up right sides together. And we're going to baste these together. We want to come in together. We want to line these up the same as before. Then we're going to stitch it around at the seam allowance in the pattern, but don't go through your zipper tape. You want to go as close to but not through. So you want to move all this out of the way so that you're only sewing through this pocket piece You don't want any of your external pieces in this, or you may cry. Well, I would. I probably wouldn't, but I'd get angry. Again, I'm going to start in the center and work out my way out because that just works better for me. Yeah, you want to get as close to those stitches, but don't stitch through your zipper tape. Don't go through your zipper tape. Okay, now go ahead and trim this down. Okay, so then this is what we have. So this is going to get folded up there, like so. I'm just going to put a couple of clips so we can see. That's going to get folded up like that. And then this one is going to do the same. It's going to get folded down like this, around that stabilizer. And then these will join up. Oh, this is going to be so pretty. Look at that. And then on the inside, we're going to have our zipper pieces, our zipper pockets that are hidden. And you'll open it up and you'll have your zipper pockets. Oh, that's a genius. Genius, I say. Okay. We can also go ahead on this side and trim down this seam allowance here. Again, not through your zipper tape. And I just want to go ahead and just draw that marking back on there. It's the triangle. Okay. Then we're going to get our upper piece. So we want our upper front pocket and upper front pocket lining and our last zipper tape. This will be the bit that has the triangle and the heart on it. So find my center of my zip, and I guess we're just rinse and repeat. Okay, so it's telling you to sit all this up And then this is how it's going to go together. The triangle here. Is that right? The triangle. So we've got the triangle at the top, which is our lining. And then we want this triangle at the top. So we're going to match these two up together and clip that right sides together. Right sides together. We're going to clip that in place. So your heart should be pointing down to our zipper, just like so. Then we're going to sew that on at our seam allowance. Move your zipper pull out of the way. Head and put my triangle there because I'm just about to trim down this seam. That's what we've got so far. Then we're going to push this out, and again we're going to top stitch, but we're only going to top stitch from zipper tab to zipper tab. So then this is what we have. Just like that. And then that is going to be like that. And then that is going to be, where is that? Like that. And then that is going to be like that. Oh, that is going to look so good. This is what we have so far. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to get the main panel that we're working on, and you want to bring your bottom panel up to your middle panel so that they're right sides together, and your lining should be out of the way. Make sure your zipper pulls out of the way as well. And then what you're going to have is just clip those out of the way. So what you're going to have is, you can see your zipper tape here and your lining towards you. Now in the pattern it gives you a measurement here of how far in from the side you want to measure and how far down from your stabilizer piece you want to measure, and you want to do that on both sides. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to stitch this line that we made here. Then just below that stitch line we're going to come in with a rivet. So again, both of your external pieces should be touching. And you want to make sure that you back stitch. So that's all you need to do for that bit. And then you want to do the same on the opposite side. And then you want to get your hole punch, and again just close to where you did the stitching. I am also going to use some offcuts of Decaville Light just to reinforce the rivet. And I actually think I want to reinforce it on both sides because this faux suede is a little bit on the thinner side. And then I'll go ahead and set this. And it'll work perfectly because it's not going to be seen. Of course it does. And it does say in the pattern that this is the only pocket that we have to do this on. But it is a very important step because it's sealing up where we put where we weren't able to sew the sides, where we put the zipper tabs. So don't skip a step. And then that has also helped to create that fold that we need. I love it. So we want to get our upper front pocket lining, and it's the shorter of the two because this is one where there is a longer one and a shorter one. So we want the shorter of the two, which is this one. We want to find the center. It would probably be easier also to put a marking on it when you're at your cutting table to let you know which one is the shorter one. Then we want to get our zipper tape, and again, right side up of the lining, right side up of the zipper tape, and the zipper facing to the right. And we're going to go ahead and baste that on as we did before. Okay, then we want to bring back all of our pieces. We want to take right sides together, clip that, and then we're going to sew at our normal seam allowance in the pattern. Move your zipper pull out of the way. And we can go ahead and transfer that marking there down here because we're just about to cut away this seam allowance, but not the zipper tape. Next, we want to top stitch through the lining. So you want to just lay this out flat, and we want to top stitch through the lining and the zipper tape. This is what we have. We're going to turn it over and get our longer zipper panel, our longer lining piece, right sides together, and we're going to clip that and baste that into place. Okay, then same as in the other steps, we're going to line these two up and we're going to sew around our seam allowance. And again, make sure you don't go through your zipper. Go ahead and we can trim that down to 1/8 of an inch. So then this is now what we have. Do not top stitch. Okay, we won't top stitch. Front top trim. So now what we want to do is we're only going to use the front top trim, and this is the one that's got the 3 snaps on it. And so we're going to match this right side up, and they just clicked into place. And clip that. Okay, now we're going to sew this at the seam allowance. Just checking where my zipper pull is. I'm going to transfer this mark down here because I'm going to trim away the seam allowance. going to open this, and we're only going to top stitch between the zipper tabs. So all your lining pieces should be out of the way. We'll check my bobbin soon. So this now is what we have. So I'm guessing they get folded down like that. Yes, and then the top gets rolled down as well, and then it's okay. All right, so next what we want to do is I'm just going to move all my lining pieces out of the way to get these darts that we've got, and we're going to match them up just like so. Clip them in place on both sides, so just join them up. You can clip further down if you need to. Saves it from moving. Then what we're going to do is we're going to sew on either side of the darts at the seam allowance in the pattern. Okay, so once we've matched up those darts, we can go ahead and sew those at the seam allowance in the pattern. And then we're going to go ahead and trim those down. Actually, I'm going to go all the way up. Because that's what it looks like. You do it in the pattern. So once you've done that, you can trim that down. And everything's trimmed down to reduce bulk. And then I'm going to repeat on this side. Okay, note to self. Move your seam, your handmade label up 1/2 inch more. And trim this down. So then that's what that looks like. Okay, next what we want to do is we want to line up all of our side pieces here so that they're laying, the bottom pieces here are laying flat. So you want to go ahead, and this will create this lip here. But you want to make sure that all of your pieces here on the sides are laying flat. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to baste all of these together using 1/8 of an inch. So make sure that they're all laying flat, just like that. Just baste those together. Now you shouldn't be getting any of your lining in the way. And do that on both sides. I just want to make sure all these layers are flat. Okay. So then you can see these are our zippers. Looking fantastic. So now we can move on to our lining pieces. Next we want our main lining pieces, our slip pocket trim. So we're going to start with the slip pocket. We're going to put two lines of double-sided tape on the inside of those drawn lines. Then we're going to fold the sides in to match that line that we did when we were preparing all of our pattern pieces. So our edges should all match up, just like so. Now we want the pieces that are raw, and we want our slip pocket side trim pieces, and we want to lay those right sides together and clip those into place, just like so. These marks are just when I was getting everything ready, they're not for anything in particular. Next we want to sew down these sides with our seam allowance. Both sides. Okay, so we're going to trim down just the side layers. The trim, not the slip pocket. we're going to fold this out and we're going to top stitch. Oh look, my seam allowance decided to jump sides. Okay, next we want to run a strip of double-sided tape next to the raw edges of the slip pocket. So just here. Okay, so we're going to fold in these to that raw edge. Just like so. Folding that in half. Then we're going to put this on the lining. But what I think I want to do is I think I want to top stitch across the top of this first. Okay. Then you want to get one of your lining pieces. You've got my centers already marked or notched out. So next what I want to do is I just want to go around and top stitch this zipper pocket on. This slip pocket. Now it does give you measurements in the pattern of how far up the placement of this goes. And these clips that I was using are just hemming clips that I got from eBay. It does tell you to leave your threads long and pull them to the back and tie them off, but I'm using the same colour thread as the sides, so I'm fine. And then we're going to go ahead and put a rivet on each side of our slip pocket to reinforce it some more. And I will go ahead and just back this with some Decabelle Light Put my post through the front, Decaville on the back, and then the cap. And set those. And then that's completed. So that's our slip pocket. Too cute. I will go ahead and just remove this with an iron later. Now we're moving on to the back. So we have got our back trim, back zipper trim, our back pocket, our connector pieces, our back pocket lining, and the top trim back. So we're going to need all those. We're going to start with one of our pocket linings. And these two, there is one shorter than the other, so just be careful which piece you're grabbing, and you're going to start with the shorter one. And you're going to have that right side up. Then you want to get the zipper that we did earlier with the external zipper tabs on these. And I'm just going to go ahead and find the center. So like before, right sides together. And we want our zipper closing to the right. So we're going to match that up in the center, and we're going to clip it, and then we're going to baste that on. Your zipper tabs are going to be longer, they give you room for error. And we can trim those down when we're finished. Now we want our back pocket piece, right sides together. There will be gaps on the back side of our lining piece, and this is correct. And it's to reduce the bulk, so don't stress about that, about this being shorter. It's meant to be that way. Go ahead and sew that at your seam allowance. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fold this back so that we have wrong sides touching, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to top stitch. Just like so. Then you want to get the taller of your lining pieces. right sides together with your lining matching up with the notch that we made in our zipper, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to baste that on. Again, the back piece will be shorter. It's meant to be that way. And we're just going to baste this on. Now we want to clip the back pocket lining pieces together. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to sew these together, but we do not want to sew the bottom because this will be how we turn the bag. I'm just going to hold it. You don't want to sew through the exterior of your bag either. So you're only doing the sides. And then I'm going to go ahead and just trim off all the excess. But I'm not going to I'm only going to trim the bottom to line up with the other piece. Okay, then we want to get our back zipper trim. Find the centers. And we're going to match that right sides together. Go ahead and sew that on at your seam allowance. We can go ahead and trim down this seam allowance just here. Don't cut through your zipper tape. Now what we're going to do is press that up and top stitch. Next, we want to get our connector pieces. I use my D-rings. You could use triangle rings. On the wrong side, so the side that's got the seam going down the center, we're just going to put some double-sided tape, and this is going to hold it in place. Okay, Next we want to put our D-rings on. And you want the seam of your D-ring, if you have one, to match the inside seam of your connector. And put those together. Then we want to put a piece of double-sided, just a little piece of double-sided tape on one side just to hold it in place. You don't need a lot. There's a marking in the pattern of where to place these on this top trim, and it also gives you a measurement of how much to overhang them by. So I'm just going to mark that. And then you want to get your double-sided tape and take that off. And you want to stick that down. Just like so. So you want to match up that side measurement and the overhang at the top. Just like so, on both sides. And you want to do it on the inside of that mark. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to base these in place. First one done. I'm just going to come in again 1/8 of an inch under that one. And base that in place. And the same on this side. So this is what we have so far. Next we want to get our back top trim. That's got our one magnet on it and right sides together, and we're going to clip that into place. Make sure your D-rings are facing down for this step because you don't want to sew through those. And we're going to sew this at our seam allowance, at our full seam allowance. Again, make sure your D-rings are down. I'm just going to use this piece of waterproof canvas just to help me come down off that piece, because there is a bit of a height difference. What I am going to do is I'm just going to come in and do a couple more stitches right next to, or right where my connectors are, just to reinforce those. And it doesn't have to be pretty because no one will see it. So that's all I've done, just like that. And I'm going to do that on both pieces. So I'm not going through the same holes at all. I'm just doing a zigzag. So that's what I've done on both sides. Next we're going to push this up and we're going to top stitch through this. And you want your connector pieces facing up. So you want your seam. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to put your connectors up and push this seam allowance towards the bottom. And we're going to top stitch on this part, on the top trim piece. So my seam allowance is facing down. I'll just use my waterproof canvas again because I do not want to scratch or mark the vinyl as I'm coming down with the height difference, and again making sure my seam allowance is pointing to the bottom. Top stitching looks excellent. It tells us that we can come in here and just trim down these seam allowances just to reduce the bulk. So that's what we have so far. And we're going to put a rivet through here. Do I put a rivet or do I use a Chicago screw? I think I'll use a Chicago screw. I have got this rivet placement tool set that I got from Seems Legit. And I'll line that up in the center at the top. And I'm going to mark my placement, which is going to be right there. Now I'm not sure if I'll be able to get in with my hand punch and punch that, but we shall see. If not, I'll have to use rivets. There we go. Okay. Am I going to be able to get in there? It's going to be tight. And I can get my Chicago screw, pop it through the front, push it down so I can see the post at the back, and then throw my stiletto or sewing awl on the floor. There we go. And this one I am going to cover with some double-sided tape. Putting the back on. That's it. That's our back panel. I love it. Awesome. Now we want our bag front, our back, and our two lining pieces. So on the front of my bag, I'm going to pair it with just the lining piece, nothing else on there. So just this, and I'm going to clip these right sides together, matching up the centers. So on the inside of my bag, on the back wall, when you open the bag, you'll have the slip pocket. Go ahead and sew that at our full seam allowance. We're going to fold that open, and we're going to top stitch on the lining side. Okay, so my seam allowance for this is going up towards the roof, up towards the lining piece. And I'm going to top stitch it on the lining. And you can come in and trim away this seam allowance at the top of the exterior. And now we want to go ahead and repeat that on our other side. I did ask my sewing machine guy if I could get the seam allowance for this bag put onto my seam guide, so I don't have to guess or draw a seam allowance, which takes time, but I'm still waiting to hear. So let me know if you can take it to Mr. Minute and they can do it. It just would save time, that's all. And I know that you could put a piece of tape there. I do have the magnetic seam guides, but they don't work for me. I think what happens is I just push too hard and they end up moving, so I've given up on those. And I think if I'm used like a Nico pen, it would eventually wipe off, and I don't want that to come off on a project, so I'll research and see if it's possible. And most bags I have found usually have this seam allowance. Lining up, seam allowance up that way, and top stitch. just going to trim away this here. Now we can assemble it. So you want to get both pieces, front and the back, and we're going to line it all up. What I am going to do though is get some double-sided tape for just here and put that on either side. And then that way I can be guaranteed that these two bits here will line up perfectly. So I'll remove this side and get this and line those up together. And you do want to check that they are lined up, because that is going to be the focal point of the bag. So you're going to see if they're not lined up. And I'm going to clip it so it doesn't shift, and I'll do the same on this side if I can get the double-sided tape off. And line those up. Perfect. Clip all that in place, and then I'm just going to go around and I'm going to match up my centers on the bottom, and we're going to just clip it all the way. And you want to make sure that all of your lining pieces for our front pockets that we did are all out of the way, and we're not going to sew through those. So rather than doing my seam allowance, drawing it on all the pieces, I'm actually going to do 2 lots of stitching. So I'm going to do one at 1/4 inch and then do the full seam allowance after that. And remember, we still have our back pocket zipper open to be able to turn the bag through that. So before I go any further, what I'm going to do is make sure that my zipper's in the middle and out of the way and left open to turn it. I have noticed that this vinyl is very, very soft, but I really do like it. It sews perfectly. I was wondering why that wouldn't clip, and it's because all the magnets had stuck together. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go and clip all this together, and then I'll come back when it's all clipped together and we're ready to sew it. Just make sure that when you clip yours together, you do not have these zipper pockets in the way. What I have done is I've just clipped, as it suggests in the pattern, I've just clipped all my linings together for the front exterior pockets to keep them out of the way. And I am going to do 2 lots of stitching. But I wanted to sew it this side up so that I could make sure that I had enough room to go past the rivets here. And I'm having no problems at all sewing these curves, so that's fantastic. And that's back to the start, and I'm just going to come in, and this is now my full seam allowance. We can remove these clips. Okay, so maybe don't remove your clips on your lining until you've trimmed your seam allowance. Alexis has done an excellent job on this pattern, and certainly for keeping your seams as bulk free as possible. So now we've just got to turn it. Okay, so open my zipper pocket all the way, and I'm going to pull the lining through first. And it helps that we left the whole of this bottom open. I'm going to make sure that all your bottoms are poked out. Out all your seams. And you want to push in your lining. Push your lining through. Oh, you guys, oh my goodness, this is adorable. Just take your time and feel it. So you want to go ahead and just make sure that all of your front pocket pieces are facing down. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So there's our zipper pockets hidden away. And it just looks like, they just look like pleats. Wow. Okay. So now we can feel the Decaville heavy at the top panel. And I'm just going to fold this in. Just like so. Just to create that top seam. And then these two close, and then these fold over to create the rolled top. Look at that. Wow. Wow. That is amazing. And then this is the back. And this is obviously where we're going to attach our crossbody strap to. I still have to seal up the back pouch, the back pocket, but look at that. I'm just wondering whether or not I should come in and just top stitch around here just to help it sit better. I think I will. I think I'll come in and I'm just going to try and top stitch just around this seam at the top. I think I will. I just need to make sure. Only problem is my foot, but I might be able to use my foam to protect my magnet. Okay, I might start just on the side, close to the side, I think. I probably should have changed to grey, but oh well. And I'm just folding it at the top of where I can feel that Decaville. Okay, so I'll come in with my foam and just go slow to protect that magnet. Now there is a magnet on this side as well. So go very slow. Was this a bad idea? Possibly. I think it's funny that someone who's absolutely terrified of top stitching chooses to actually top stitch a bag that doesn't need it. Go figure. Okay. And my foam in this piece. We did it! Yay! And that's it. Oh, look at that. That is just adorable. And you don't have to have it folded over. You can just have it as a bag that has a magnet closure. Okay, better seal up the pocket before I forget. And there we go. And done. I absolutely love this bag. Get our crossbody strap. And there we go. We're right to go. I'm so happy with this, how it turned out. I think it's just so classy and elegant, and these zipper pockets are just amazing. I mean, you don't even know that they're there. And look at how big that is. Like, that is huge. Even the smallest one is still perfect size for, yeah, lip gloss. And then the inside, so we've obviously got our big slip pocket there, and there's still plenty of room on the inside. This is the first time that I've ever made a bag that has got this roll fold over top. I've never made a bag like this before. and I'm not disappointed at all. I really, really like it. I mean, I really, really like it. So I hope this tutorial was helpful. I hope if you are having trouble making it, which I don't think you will because Alexis's patterns are amazing, I hope that I've helped in some way. And there's that back zipper pocket, which again is roomy. And you just can't go wrong with this. I think it would suit all ages. I hope I did Alexis's pattern justice. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know if you're going to make it, if you've made it already. And thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.